Welcome back to Edge Work, presented by FanDuel. As part of the Hammer Betting Network, I am joined here today by So Money and unfortunately Matt Alber as well to help break down tonight's games, give out some best bets. Definitely no recap of yesterday as well. In fact, I'm just going to get straight into this ad read because you know it, I know it. The NHL is back and FanDuel is bringing you more action than ever. Everyone knows hockey just hits different. Load up a power play with the hottest same-game parlays found on the Parlay Hub. Lace them up and follow your bets with player prop tracking or bet on the fly with the Pulse. The hunt for the cup starts here. Get more from the NHL with FanDuel, North America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can kick off the season with $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Place any $5 bet and you'll get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Please play responsibly. Must be 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600. That's 1-866-531-2600 or visit connectsontario.ca. So, Money, how was your night?
It was okay. NHL was a little bit tough last night. The last few nights have been tough with the NHL, but overall it was okay.
That's the only person I care to ask how their night was. For the show, I think not the best night on the show for the bets that we gave out our best bets yesterday. 2, 4, and 2, I believe.
It's almost like it's karma headed your way there.
Was the recap. 2, 4, and 2. And honestly, probably quite lucky to get the push in that Habs Detroit under and quite lucky to get the push in that Vegas St. Louis under as well. So all in all, maybe could have been worse. Complete no-show from the Wild last night. Just complete no-show from the Habs as well.
What about that one in the middle there? Yeah, what about that little one in the middle, that 6-1 game there?
Yeah, I just talked about the Wild. Not a great game for the Wild.
Yeah, the Wild wasn't 6-1, but that's okay.
Okay, all right. You know what? You can do your little Rangers thing. Talk about your Rangers for a second.
You know what? I wasn't even going to be annoying, but just like you've kicked me off the show 4 times since I've even joined before we even went live. Like, yeah, we're back. Cup runs back on.
So what part of you guys is back? Just explain that to me so I can understand.
Every part of the team is back. Igor is back. We're scoring a bunch of goals. We're so back.
Okay, so the part of the Rangers that's back is the not in the playoff spot still. That doesn't show back to me. Like their third regulation win in like 3 weeks. Hey, look, congratulations. Igor had a good game last night. You guys won. I wouldn't say back. Still a mediocre team. First round.
We're so back.
So how can we make money on Rangers games now moving forward? What needs to be done?
Well, if you had not been fading them, you would have made money just by saving some money there, fading them every game for the last 3 weeks.
Well, you wouldn't have made money. You would have saved money. How would you have made money?
Money's making money. Saving money's making money.
I haven't seen Alber bet the Rangers in a while, so I don't know. I
did on Tuesday. I said I was on Tuesday.
No, did you? Oh, we didn't. I thought we locked in Senators. Did so many bet
after that head to head? I think so many bet the Senators, and then it came down, and I was like, yeah, I want the Rangers here.
Pass posting. Got it. All right. Fair enough.
Well, you know what? I get you being snippy after you guys got blown out.
This makes sense. This makes sense. I hear this.
Our producer's got to chill in the back there. That's a very unnecessary comment. I think he's a little angry over his team too right now. So
we also I'm pretty sure we also, I need to just double check here, but we came very close on the anytime goal parlay again last night. We went 3 for 4. Slavkovsky was the only one that didn't score.
Weird. So the Ranger guy won and the Hab guy didn't. Interesting.
Yeah, the Habs played terrible.
Funny how that works.
I just said that. I just said that after beating the Rangers on Sunday, for the record. Yeah, Jordan, it's okay.
This guy's going to be insufferable.
He's been insufferable when the Rangers were bad. This is just worse somehow.
Stop. When the Rangers were bad, I was the first one here. It's like I was going full so many Canucks 2 months ago. Don't give me that one.
Somehow your vibes are still bad though.
Nope, the vibes are great. We're
Jordan,
back.
it's okay. It's not your fault. The Habs
That is
complete
fine.
no-show last night. I don't know. I don't know if anyone could have expected that. It was basically just like I think a game like that has been coming for a while. The rate they've been winning, like they were bound to have a just complete stinker. They haven't in so long. It's pretty hard to go that long of a stretch without having a stinker like that. That was early November Habs hockey last night. They did not show up from the opening faceoff. Just an absolutely terrible all-around game. So fully deserved that loss. It was even probably closer than it should have been. But yeah, let's get into tonight's games because I honestly can't do this anymore talking about last night. We will start with Vegas Dallas. Knights plus 120, Stars minus 144, total of 5.5, minus 138 to the over. Alber, I'll let you lead us off here since you're just buzzing right now. You got anything for us in this game?
I do not. No. Buzzing, but buzzing about last night. Not really buzzing about this card tonight. I think the prices are kind of right in line here. As far as Vegas, like it's definitely not really a team I'm dying to back right now. Dallas, this is kind of a big number against a Vegas team that we know has kind of played them pretty well, especially kind of over the last couple of years here. So it's not really anything I'm looking to jump in front of. As far as the total, like I think you're seeing 6, like minus 110 on the under. Not really looking to play it. So nothing for me here.
So money, anything for you?
No, I'm in the same boat here. I would have liked it a little bit cheaper on Dallas. But I mean, with Vegas schedule here, I think that their spot has been captured in the market right now in the mid minus 130s. I would have wanted a high minus 120s at the most, but right now it's been priced accordingly. So I will pass on this game. I do like the under a bit, but the flat sixes are gone for the most part. And I missed the boat on that. So yeah, nothing. Won't have anything here.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. I think both teams are kind of going through it a little bit in terms of their results, but I don't really think we've seen a dip in play from either of these teams. I think it's more just like a little bit of unlucky. I would expect a bit of a tighter game here. Vegas has still been really good defensively, just not really getting the goaltending. Dallas has opened it up a little bit, but I would think this would be they'd approach this one, a little bit tighter, especially with how they've been losing games. The one thing I just wanted to add is that the way that Dallas has been deploying their goalies, I would, if you'd like Dallas or like the under, I would probably just wait a little bit because I think it's a strong possibility that this is a DeSmith game. They've been going Ottinger 2 games, DeSmith 1, Ottinger 2, DeSmith 1. They've kind of been keeping that rotation for a little bit now. And they were in this exact spot last week where Ottinger had played 2 games in a row coming into a back-to-back, and they did start DeSmith in the first half of the back-to-back in Colorado too, which was a big game. Saved Ottinger for the Wings, I believe it was, the next day. So if they continue to stick with that, then that means they would go with DeSmith here against Vegas. So I think that feels likelier to me. Definitely far from 100%, but I think there's a good chance we'd see DeSmith. So you might be able to wait for a better number on Dallas or the under. But nothing for any of us there. We'll move on to the next game. I can take the lead on this one because I do feel strongly about it, and I do have a bet in this game. Flyers at Isles. Flyers right now plus 126. My beloved Isles minus 152. Total of 5.5. Minus 122 to the over. Plus 100 to the under. I do not think the market is reacting enough to this Noah Dobson injury. I think it's hard to quantify stuff like that sometimes, and I just do not think the market is doing a good job at all with it right now. The guy plays 24 minutes a night. He's the only competent power play defenseman they have. Leads the team in expected goal share among defensemen at 5-on-5 while playing the most minutes. He is their horse. He does everything. You ask everyone behind him to play an increased role when he's not there, and they just do not have the depth to do that, especially with Riley still on IR. I think that's just a crippling loss for them on the back end. What he brings offensively in transition to the breakout, like even defensively, he's been so good. Just I believe it's just Pulak who's ahead of him in expected goals against per 60 at 5-on-5 when he's on the ice. So really, really, really valuable guy to this team. The way this season has gone for the Isles as well, I think this is kind of like there's a non-zero, it's narrative-y, but there's a non-zero chance that this is sort of the straw that broke the camel's back. I can see this just sort of deflating them significantly here. They're in a tough spot. Their backs are already against the wall. To lose their heart and soul in the back end now, really tough to recover from something like that. Also a huge game here huge game for both teams, but huge game for Philly coming off that loss last night. I talked about it last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, how Philly's numbers have not dipped at all in the second half of back-to-backs. They've been good. I think they are still a very good team. Last night doesn't change anything. They did not play poorly in that game. Urson didn't make the saves. Shesterkin did. It is what it is, and then it just got away from them. Once it got to like 3-4-1, I think it kind of they just packed it in, looked ahead to tomorrow, which is tonight's game. Fedotov has not been terrible. He's kind of been right around like a league average sort of numbers in most of his starts. He does have the odd blow-up game, but for the most part, he's not killing you. And just the way the Flyers are playing on 5-on-5 and, being devalued here coming off that loss yesterday and the back-to-back situation, plus the way I think the market is underreaction to this Dobson news. I like the Flyers, and Isles got bet down a little bit, and now they're right back to where they opened again. So you're getting plus 130s pretty much everywhere on this Philly number. And yeah, I like that. That's a bet for me. We'll pause for a second to lock it in to see if there's any agreement or disagreement. So Money, I'll throw to you first here.
Yeah, I bet the Flyers as well, and I like them at their current number too. Yeah, you touched on a lot of things. I will say that the Dobson injury, it's those kind of things don't show up a lot of times in the market, similar to what Filip Hronek meant to the Canucks, right? It's not just the player itself, but it's the minutes that he eats up, and then how it cascades throughout the rest of the defensive core there, where you would get guys who are playing more minutes than they should be, and we saw how much that how much the Canucks struggled in the aftermath of Hronek's injury, especially defensively, and it's just really tough to recover from, especially if you don't have that much depth on the back end to begin with. Flyers, they're one of those teams where I don't necessarily have I don't really have a problem with being confident that they will bounce back, just because of the way that they're coached and the way that they play. Whether they win or not, that's a different story. But I feel confident that we're going to get a better effort from them, and if we do get a good effort from them, then the plus 130s, I think that they can make this game tight, and on the road on a back-to-back. Well, I mean, New York to New York, right? It's not, but I think that just even on a back-to-back, I think that they'll be fine.
All right. Alber, what are you going to triple this one and just drive a stake right through both our hearts?
Yep, triple. So Isles, I'm certainly not as high on the Isles as I know you are. So that's the first part of it, is I don't think this number is very good. As kind of far as the Dobson point goes, yeah, it's definitely obviously the trickle down effect of now you have guys that shouldn't be playing 18, 20 minutes a night that are going to have to. And that's even with Dobson having not been very good this year at all. So now you're even throwing guys behind him into the mix that should not kind of be in this role. I don't like the Isles, and from the Flyers, yeah, I still think they're a pretty good team. I mean, when you happen to just run into the best team in the NHL one night, yeah, you're probably not going to look very good. So yeah, I triple best bet on the Flyers. I'm surprised you haven't kicked me off yet for these Ranger comments, because they're going to keep coming.
I'm not even going to address them anymore. I'm just going to. I don't even listen to you at this point. I also do strongly lean towards the over here, and I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like I probably will end up on the over. I was just debating if if it's going to come down at all, if I want to give it out yet or what. But I don't think this should be 5.5. And there's still you can get even better than minus 120. But even at the minus 120s, I like it. Philly generates a ton. I think they'll be able to get goals in this one. And obviously, given the Dobson injury, that cripples this team on the back end. Sorokin scares you. Non-zero chance they go with Hogberg again here and then go back to Sorokin tomorrow. We'll see. And then with Fedotov in net, Isles should be able to contribute a couple. I don't really agree with this being 5.5. Honestly, I think I will just go ahead and and lock it in, and we'll just have 2 in this game unless anyone disagrees. No? All right. So we'll do that. Philly plus 130, over 5.5, minus 120. 2 games, 2 bets, both of them coming in the same game though so far. Next game here, we got Jordan's Blackhawks at home to the Lightning, who have lost 2 in a row. Lightning minus 240, Blackhawks plus 195, total of 6.5, minus 115 to the over. So Money, I will let you lead us off here. You got anything in this one?
I do. I did play the over. I played over 6.5. Expecting Vasilevsky, but this whole game just comes down to the way that Tampa Bay wants to play this game. Chicago, we know that they bleed chances. They've been doing that all year now. Their games are actually pretty fun. I like watching Blackhawk games. For Tampa Bay, what we're seeing with Tampa Bay is that they have a style they play with certain teams. So going back here, so against Montreal and Toronto, they did play better defensively, but those two are generally good defensive teams right now, Toronto and Montreal. And then the game against Detroit was wide open. Game against Anaheim was relatively wide open. Then the game against Boston, they were able to generate a lot, but Boston doesn't generate much, as we've talked about. So basically what I'm saying is that against the weaker teams, Tampa Bay has no problem opening it up, and we're seeing that. And then when they play when they play the better defensive teams, those are the games that get tight. So I would expect that this becomes a more wide open game than we've seen in the past from Tampa Bay in previous iterations of their team. So and that's where I have the edge right now. I think that that Tampa Bay is totally fine with running in this game, and I do expect Vasilevsky against Mrazek, and I like the over 6.5 even with that. So if there's any change to that, then that's just more value on my ticket. So I've already locked in the 6.5 here.
Alber, where are you at in this game?
I do kind of think that we're on Johansson watch here with the back-to-back. Obviously, kind of with Chicago, obviously being the much weaker team too, which is weird to say because he just played 3-4 days ago. But kind of this dual back-to-back, like I don't think you can really bet. Like I will not be betting this definitely until I know who's in net for Tampa. If it's Johansson, I agree with the over here, but I don't want it with Vasilevsky. Like I just can't sit here and rely that the Blackhawks are going to score 2-3 goals against Vasilevsky. If that is the case, it's just, so I don't have anything until we know goalies for sure, but it's one of those, like if we get a Johansson confirmation, I would go bet the over.
So I'm glad you said that because I do like the over as well here, and I didn't want to have another triple best bet. Those have not necessarily been going great lately. I did bet the over as well because Tampa, you said it, Tampa flat out just does not have the same intensity in these games, and it's the defense that drops off because of it. When they're playing these bad teams, they're still capable of scoring goals, no problem. That's never an issue, and especially against a team like Chicago with how much they give up. I don't think they'll have an issue scoring, even being in first gear here, but they have a tendency to let these teams stick in games and get these goals and just kind of turn these into sort of back and forth meets. I do like Tampa unders when they're playing good teams, and conversely, I like betting the overs here against these bad teams. And we saw it against Anaheim. We've seen it in a lot of these different ones against Pittsburgh and stuff like that lately. So I think that's basically how this gets approached. I wouldn't expect Johansson. But yeah, like you said, if you do get him, it's only good. But like that, going Johansson against the Leafs the other night in the first half of the back-to-back was so out of character for Cooper. They always go with Vasilevsky in the first half of these back-to-backs, like almost religiously over the last couple of years. So I was surprised. I would think they go back to Vasilevsky, but again, who knows? But yeah, over 6.5. I am in agreement on this one. One more game tonight. Winnipeg at home to Utah. Jets minus 225. Utah plus 184. Total of 5.5. Minus 115 to the over. Minus 105 to the under. Alber, you can lead us off on this last one. Do you have anything in this one after you going back to the Utah after they destroyed our triple best bet last night against the Wild?
I'm not going back to the Utah well. I think that game was more of a stinker from the Wild than it tells me anything about Utah personally. Like that was just very out of character for kind of what we expect out of the Wild to kind of play well defensively. Well, they got shelled in, but it's not like Utah's doing that to a lot of teams. So yeah, I definitely think we learned more last night about the Wild, or that was more about the Wild than it was about Utah.
Yeah.
My first look here was going to be the under. Like I'm not interested in the side of this number, but I just think it's a little bit too low. I certainly don't want to play the over here. But I do just think it is a little bit low, especially when, again, like I don't really see how Utah is going to generate a whole lot of offense against Winnipeg here. And again, these Hellebuck overs are just not something I'm dying to play unless they're playing like a really good offensive team right now. So no, nothing for me here.
Okay. I feel the other way about the total, but I'll let So Money go first here. So Money, do you have anything in this one?
No, I got nothing here. If it's Alber and Ned, I won't be getting involved in this game.
Okay. I don't have anything either, but I lean towards. I know you kind of lean up over Alber, but don't have interest if it's Hellebuck, which I understand. I lean under just because of how little Winnipeg's been giving up. I think Utah, after last night, kind of on this back-to-back, going to be tougher for them to get going, especially against this Winnipeg team who maybe defensively hasn't been as great lately. Like they just played this Utah team and struggled. I think we'll get a bit of a response from them in this spot. But I think the way everything's priced right now, like I'm hardly dying to get involved. So nothing for me here. So we got the 1, 2, I think 3 best bets tonight. I will recap those, but you guys can send your goal scorers in the chat in the meantime. We got Flyers Isles over 5.5 minus 120, Flyers plus 130, and that is a triple best bet. And the Lightning Blackhawks over 6.5 minus 105. 3 bets tonight on a 4-game slate as we head into the weekend, hopefully here on a positive note. We're getting really close to these. Goal scorer things right now. We've had that's twice now this week. We've gone 3 for 4. I feel like it's coming.
Maybe Zach was the real issue.
It's coming. Maybe. I sense we're gonna hit one soon. I am now playing these hard out of FOMO. If you're round robining these though too, like you're coming out ahead. You're having a really nice week if you're round robining these right now. All right, let's try and get one from each game. We do like a couple overs. We don't have an under bet locked in, so hopefully we get goals tonight. We're expecting goals tonight, which means we're expecting some guys to maybe have some value in these goal scoring markets. Has anything been sent so far in the chat? I don't think we have anything yet. So I'm going to throw to you guys, put you on the spot a little bit here. Do you guys have anything you like or you want to throw in there?
I think we should go with. Let's get the chat.
Oh, there we go. Let's get the chat.
Yeah, we can get some from the chat. I don't hate Barbashev 410's a decent number. Hurdle 290. I don't hate. I don't know. Let's see if the chat likes either of those. That's kind of my first look there.
Dickinson? I'm in.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm in there.
Started off with a 650.
Is Draisaitl playing tonight?
Did the Rangers play tonight?
I can't do it. I can't do it much longer. Thankfully, their schedule gets harder coming up here.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Ehlers? How do we feel about Ehlers? Plus 230 off FanDuel.
Yeah, I think we almost certainly need to have Winnipeg guys in there.
Yeah. So let's go Dickinson, Ehlers. We need one from the Philly games. We need a Philly player, ideally. And then
How about Morgan Frost, 380?
Okay. Frost. Morgan Frost, 380. And then we need a guy from Vegas, Dallas.
Come on, Barbie. Let's go party.
I mean, I'd be open to it. We can also go back to Wyatt Johnson. Well, we've had Wyatt Johnson a bunch of times. He scored for us a number of times. Eichel plus 210. All right, there we go. I'm going to defer to Jordan here. Eichel plus 210. That's
Sorry,
the four.
Barbie, no party.
No party for Barbie tonight. 4 guys tonight: Jason Dickinson, Nikolai Ehlers, Morgan Frost, Jack Eichel. That is 367 to 1.
Okay, this isn't the one.
$10
Sorry.
pays you 3,672. Another 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
what do you say? Round robin these, and let's go 3 out of 4. I'm fine with 3 out of 4. I'll take 3 out of 4 every time.
We just got to hit one.
Just one.
Got to hit one before the fall and hit the books.
Sam, you can't say but not give any suggestions. We need more. You gotta come prepared. I want to see like 1032. I want to see a name in the chat from you. I want to see a guy that we're gonna go to, and that's gonna be the anchor of our parlay every day going forward. We need
Sam's new thing is throwing the picks out at like 6:58 is the new thing from Sam here.
That was a nice no-goal parlay you guys just made. All right. That's it. That's it for me. Do you guys have any you know what? No chance for closing thoughts here.
I was going to say, we're going to open the floor.
That is it
here?
for today's edition
Okay.
of Edgework. I appreciate everyone who tuned in today on YouTube, Twitter, podcast, anything like that. Take a second to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Any of that stuff can help us. We would appreciate it. We will be back on Monday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time as always. Until then, enjoy the games this weekend.
I can't wait to talk to you on Monday.